Good afternoon. Welcome to Olam News. We're here on this beautiful spring day on this world. We're trying to figure out what's going on. So we have many times where we try and make our lives better, and hopefully we can figure out how to do that. But sometimes it's not so easy. But that's why I'm giving these lessons, is to try and help you, me, us, enable us to tap in to the pathway that leads to blessing, physical prosperity, and of course spiritual prosperity. Olam News. Olam is the physical world. The root of Olam is Helam, which means world, hidden world. The real world is the hidden world, the spiritual world. And Olam, the physical world, is only an expression of the spiritual world. One of the things we have on our minds, especially those trying to raise a family and support a family, is how are we going to continue to make a living, pay the bills, put bread and food on the table, keep the electricity on. These are concerns that run through people's minds, and I want to give you a lesson on a spiritual pathway that can lead to blessing in this area and hopefully more stability. And that is rooted in, which we all are aware of, most of us are aware of, rooted in the action of giving charity. Rooted in the action of giving a tithe, which is a tenth of what we make. It says aser taser. If you give a tenth, aser, you will become rich. This is one of the areas we're allowed to test God in. When you give a tenth, you're allowed to say, God, you said in your 5 books of Moses that if you give a tenth, you're going to become rich. Well, I'm giving a tenth now, God. Please make me rich. And everyone's definition of wealth, of richness, is different. And so, wealth can be a more stable existence if we give this tenth. Well, many of us are not in the position, or we don't think we're in the position to give a tenth. So then, what should we do? I want to bring blessing to the world and bring you blessing. So I'm going to tell you what a man of truth told me in Israel, the head rabbi of my school in a city called Bnei Brak, Yeshivas Marbei Torah. That was the name of the school. The name of the school of Torah. And he said, keep a ledger. Write down what you make. It's better to give the tenth. Always give charity, at least something. It's better to give the tenth, but if you can't, or you don't feel like, or don't think you can give the tenth, You must write it down. Write down everything you make in a ledger. And when you will become rich, when you feel like you have a ton of money, you're basically stating that you will give the 10th to make up for what you owe on that tithe. So keep a ledger. When you keep a ledger, God will consider it as if you have given your 10th. So everything that comes in, write it down. Aser taser. Give a 10th, and you will become rich. And you can even test the Kodesh Baruch Hu in this area and say, God, it says in your Torah, if you give a 10th, you will make me rich. I'm giving this 10th, God, for you to make me rich. Please make me rich. That's the lesson to help with prosperity. Nothing's guaranteed. Because God's world is infinite. And there are infinite possibilities. But this is a lesson passed down for thousands of years. And I wanted to pass this lesson to you. And I hope it works well with you. And remember, as you're always taught, keep the faith. Next lesson I want to move into is the battle in the world. There's a spiritual war going on. Not one you see. It's a war between mercy and not giving mercy. God's world is a God of mercy. If you put a bowl on your table and you put 500 red marbles in and one white marble, and you mix it up while your eyes are closed, of course.
Ready, let's go.
And you close your eyes. And all the marbles are the same texture, same size. Within those 500 red marbles, there's one white marble. And you think you're going to get one of those red marbles, you're correct. But if you think you're going to get the white marble, you probably need a therapist. You're not going to think you're going to get the one white marble out of 500 red marbles. And try it and try it and try it and try it and try it. Look at what the statistics are of grabbing that one white marble. Phenomenal. You should not think you're ever going to grab that one white marble. Well, God's world is a world of mercy. He's so merciful that he even provides for those that never think of him, that declare that they don't believe in him, that do evil acts. God's mercy is well beyond ours, but we can strive to be like him. Strive to be like God. Because that's why we're here. We need to perfect our lives as much as we can to emulate God's ways. There's a wonderful holy book called The Way of God by Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto. Not a very expensive book. It's in English. You can look online and find it and purchase it and read it in English. If you want to know the way of God, read that book.
Can we go?
The way of God, emulating God's ways, is why we're here. We need to work towards that and realize that God's mercy is well beyond ours. Yet we need to strive to be like God, to get better, to grow, to provide for those in need. Until next time. Aser Taser. Give your tithe. If you don't have enough or don't feel like you have enough, write it down in a ledger. Ask God to make you rich. Keep your ledger. Give your tithe. And I hope we all become rich and wealthy, both physically and spiritually, through our actions and through our connection to God and our growth into becoming more God-like. Thank you so much for listening to Olam News. Have a wonderful weekend and keep the faith. Shalom. Bye.